Hello, my name is Robert Dean Steele, and this is your daily Bible class. Now we're looking at Revelation chapter 8, verses 8 and 9. We're talking about the trumpet judgment. Yesterday we talked about the fact that the first trumpet judgment had to do with the destruction of a third of all the vegetation. Now listen to what it says here in Revelation chapter 8, verses 8 and 9. The second angel sounded his trumpet, and something like a huge mountain, all ablaze, was thrown into the sea. A third of the sea turned into blood. A third of all the living creatures in the sea died, and a third of all the ships were destroyed. So here we have the second angel sounding his trumpet, and it says something like a huge mountain, all ablaze. Now, we can speculate on what this could be. Most likely it is going to be an object from the heavens. An object that is going to be the sound or the size of a mountain. Now we have no idea what that means, but it is going to be huge, and it is going to have incredible implications. The destination of this particular mountain, all ablaze, is the sea. And the effects of that particular judgment are going to bring about, again, cataclysmic, catastrophic, I don't care what word you use, it is going to have incredible implications. It says a third of the sea will turn into blood. That means it will be immediately affected. And it won't be just in one localized area. It will be around the globe. And immediately it says a third of the living creatures in the sea died. This particular judgment, with this mountain coming down out of the heavens, ablaze. It might be a meteor, it might be a comet. We're not exactly sure what it is, but here is John best describing it as he can. He's saying this is what's coming, and this is the implication. This is what's going to happen. A third of all the living creatures in the sea will die. Whales will die. Mantas will die. We're talking dolphins. We're talking all the fishes. Again, the implication economically is going to be incredible. There are entire nations that their whole economy rests on the fishing industry. And when that is wiped out, there will be people who will lose their livelihood. And many of us have seafood sometime during the week. And there are entire cultures that rely on seafood. And when that is gone, starvation is going to come. We've already lost 1/3 of the vegetation, and now 1/3 of all the sea creatures, all the animals in the sea have died. It would be like a massive pollution on a worldwide scale. And then it says also a third of the ships were destroyed. This particular judgment, this mountain that comes out of heaven and lands in the sea, it will completely destroy certain areas. But we also see that all these vessels that are on the ocean will be destroyed as well. 1/3 of all vessels. Now, can you imagine how that's going to affect so much of the economics of our world? Much of the oil, for example, in the world are transported by super tankers. The pollution that will be happening because a third of those super tankers will all of a sudden erupt. And the grain ships and the other ships that are carrying all these different cargoes from all around the world. And then all the people that are living on those freighters and on those ocean going. You're on a vacation. Let's say you're down in the Caribbean, and then a third of all the cruise ships will be destroyed. It will be incredible to think about all the people that will die, all the different things that will happen. And that's only the second judgment. He's saying this, the judgment of God is coming. The second trumpet, you see, first of all, a third of all vegetation being destroyed. And secondly, you see a third of all the sea creatures being destroyed, as well as a third of the ships. It is almost mind-boggling. And what is even more mind-boggling is that God tells us a couple of thousand years before it even happens. He's getting us ready. He's telling you need to be ready for this. You need to tell people that this is going to happen. This is not a fairy tale. This is not a fantasy. This is reality. This is coming. And it's coming during the tribulation period. And it is going to have incredible implications. 1/3 of all vegetation will be destroyed. And 1/3 of all the animals in the ocean and 1/3 of all the sailing ships are going to be destroyed. It's coming. And what we need to do is be aware of it. We need to tell people about it. And we need to say, Lord, please show your grace and your mercy now while there is still time. You see, Paul puts it very succinctly when he says, today is the day of salvation. The day of salvation is when you hear the message of Jesus Christ, like you're hearing right now. And you need to respond. Why do you need to respond? Because when the day of salvation is presented, you make a decision. You make a decision of whether or not you're going to believe what I'm saying is true, or even what the Word of God is saying true. What you need to do is say, this is coming. This is reality. I need to get myself ready. I need to get my family ready. And folks, when you do that, what you can do is prepare the best way you can. You see, if you're a believer, you're not going to be going through this. But if you are an unbeliever, this is what's coming. And it will have catastrophic events, catastrophic implications for you and your family. Think about that. My name is Robert Dean Steele. This is your daily Bible class. You have yourself a godly day.